where are my new authors out there, the soon to be or potential new authors and book lovers, along with my adventurous types, and those of you who enjoy living on the edge? Our guest is going to talk about living on the edge. Trust me, you're going to love her. This is for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast. We are in season 3. Yes, yes, yes. We talk all things aging here about this beautiful and sometimes challenging but liberating journey. And besides politics, nothing is off limits. I'm your host, Marquita Curtis Haynes. I'm also the founder and the CEO of the lifestyle brand, Ageless Glamour Girls. Of course, this is the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast. Now, I'm also an author, an Amazon best-selling author, I might add. My new anthology is called Ageless Glamour Girls, Reflections on Aging. It features 12 women, I'm number 13, fierce and phenomenal women who share their take and their experiences on this ageless aging journey. Now, and I'm excited to tell you about a new podcast segment called the Ageless Authors series. Okay, I got that out. The Ageless Authors series. That's where we celebrate new authors, most of whom wrote their first book at 50 plus or whatever. Woohoo! Shout out to you ladies. Our guest today is in that category. She's Melanie Dragan, and her new book, beautiful book. Wait till you see this book. Her new book, it's called The Wagon Diaries. I love it. Well, Wagon Diaries. Welcome to the show, Melanie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you know what? I caught that. Your last name is spelled Dragan. And
yes.
This is Dragon. Your RV. Dragon. Cute. I love it.
Exactly.
So, you're a brave and beautiful soul, I tell you. I just
love
it.
Thank you.
Love it. And she had a book signing recently. Here again, the Wagon Diaries, a book signing recently. I'm going to have to post those pictures when I post this podcast. So much fun. Now, your new book documents traveling the open road across, in an RV, across how many states?
48 in the RV, 49 for the whole trip. I saw a route that went viral online where you could see 48 states in the most optimized way. And Dr. Randall Olson used a computer program to figure out what would be the best route. And I thought I'd love to do that one day. And then I was laid off due to COVID. Sad for about 24 hours, 48 hours. And then I thought, well, it was actually my husband's idea. He said, how about that dream you have of hitting the open road? Nothing's stopping us anymore.
Wow.
So
your dream. You used to think
it
about
was my dream, but he did the encouraging and said, let's just do it. So we bought a $2,500 RV on Craigslist.
I love it.
And 30 years old, we fixed it up and set out to follow Dr. Olson's route and adding in our own stops as well to visit friends across the country, see some really interesting spots. And I kept a diary every day from the first day to the last day.
Journal.
And as well as taking over 20,000 photos. So at the end of the journey, I thought, with some encouragement from friends, I should make this into a book. Right. So I spent the next 2 years writing the book and compiling the photographs. And then the rest is history.
I love it. And it's I was showing it to my husband. It's such a beautiful, colorful book. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
We took over 20,000 photos, but fortunately they're not all in the book because I think the book would be about that big. So there are a few hundred photos in the book out of the few hundred best ones out of 20,000.
Oh my God. Woo, you have a lot more nerve than I do. I love it. taking on the open road in an RV. So, what was the most fascinating part about your journey?
When I first started, we were understandably a little afraid
Mhm.
of sleeping out in the elements, out in
See?
the wild, because
Mhm.
we didn't stay in campgrounds except for maybe 3 or 4 nights. The
Mhm.
most of the time we stayed in the national forest or in the desert or like today on a beach. We're
By the way,
so
where are you today?
today I am in San Felipe, Baja California, Mexico. And
Is
we've been in Mexico for 2 months, spending every night on different beaches and really, really just appreciating the culture here, the food, the people, the amazing beaches and mountains.
that's amazing. I mean, back up to what you said. You slept on many beaches. I mean, that's not in my wheelhouse. I mean, I remember, when I was younger, of course, doing camping in a tent, but that
Hmm.
was before I knew what was going on all around me. When you're young, you're fearless. Like, whoa. But oh my God, how was it your first night out sleeping on a beach?
The first time sleeping on a beach was amazing. I remember thinking that it was always my dream to have a mansion with a balcony that overlooked the water and
Mhm.
be able to drink my coffee there every morning.
Ooh, yes, yes, yes.
And
Please.
once we slept on the beach and my husband opened up the back of the van to show the water, I realized I could have my coffee on hundreds of different beaches. So it's even better.
What a life. I I I'm still a little fearful of doing stuff like that. But oh my God. See, that's the kind my husband would say, "Oh, baby, come on, let's do this." And I'm like, "Well, let me think about it for a minute." So that's amazing. So no fear of the bears or whatever, alligators or whatever. I love that. I love that. Now, you just mentioned that along the route, you stay, met your family along the route, you met your friends along the route, but you've also met new friends. I mean, what is that
Yes.
like?
That well, we're both extroverts, and so we will strike up a conversation with any interesting people. I just met a beautiful Mexican family the day before yesterday. They taught me to make tortillas from scratch,
Oh my
and we spent the day 8 hours together. And thankfully, I've been learning Spanish for the last 6 months, and I was able to have a great conversation with them. But yes, everywhere we go, we make friends and try to meet the local people, whether
God.
it's in the United States or in another country. This is actually our 43rd country as well
I,
as.
I was going to ask you about that. 43rd. Oh my gosh. Yes. Because let me tell you guys, I'm going to give you her information or social media information later, but you're going to want to follow her. Trust me. It's like I live my life vicariously through
Oh,
theirs. And they're such a wonderful couple. I love them, love them, love them. But getting back to your travels,
yes.
and so you meet these people, you befriend them, and what
Mhm.
is that big festival? The Burning Man.
Burning Man, right,
That's
right.
that was been part of your journey as well, right?
It really was. That was our first time at Burning Man.
Mhm.
And it wasn't the organized Burning Man because that year it was canceled due to COVID.
Yes, yes.
But over 20,000 people showed up and it was incredible. You meet a lot of people like us that will just travel and pick up and do crazy things there.
Like-minded, like-minded.
Yeah, for sure. For
Oh, I
sure.
love that. And see, I have to go back. How long have you been married?
I've been married for 13, no, 10 years. I've been married 10 years. We've been together 13.
I love it. So when you first met, I mean, who was the spirit there? Who was the free spirit? I know you dreamed about hitting the road in an RV, but
Well, it's funny. My husband says it's me, but he made it possible because we were dating a week, and he asked if I wanted to go to Las Vegas with him. And we flew off to Las Vegas and had
I
so
love
much fun,
it.
pretended to be married. So all my friends would go, "Oh my gosh, you got married? You knew this guy 1 week." We returned to Vegas 3 years later and got married for real this
Oh my
time.
goodness. Oh,
Um, and he also said, I go to Europe every year to see my family.
mm-hmm.
Would you like to come? And I said, heck yeah, I'm definitely coming. And then he said, do you want to go anyplace else? And I said, Paris. Okay, anyplace else? Venice?
Oh my
Anyplace else? Austria. So the first trip we took, we went to 5 countries,
goodness.
and
Mm.
in a backpack. I carry a backpack. That's
I
how I
love that
fly
style. I
all
love
the time. And it was amazing. His big skill is finding cheap tickets.
mm.
So
I have to remember that.
yeah, he's amazing at finding cheap tickets. And we just started traveling. And he said that I inspired him to be more adventurous and see more places. But it wouldn't be possible if he didn't show me that we could do it on a budget.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I always thought people that traveled to Europe were rich, and I wasn't rich. So I thought, I guess it's not really, maybe once in my lifetime I might go to Europe.
Hmm.
But because we have sort of hacked the budget traveling ways, we've been able to see so many countries and every state.
That's amazing. Now getting back to speaking of every state, I always tell people when I first moved to New York years ago, and people are like, "Oh, what is it like living in Illinois?" I'm like, "It's fine. I mean, what is there to do there?" I'm like, "There's a lot to do there. Thank you very much." And it's funny.
Right.
So I've lived in a lot of different cities, and it's like I always say that every city, every town has its own special vibe. You know,
Mm,
positive to add. So I look at this and what so I know you followed the guide in the beginning. So did you guys
yes.
any more thought? Oh my God, wait a minute, guys. I have to show you this. I'm sorry. There she is, Melanie, crawling out of a cave. Okay. Did you put so you had your guide and then you did your own research. And so
Yes.
what are some of the things that you look for? I mean, I assume it's safety, it's adventure, but and then we're gonna get back to this picture because I want to know about this picture.
Yeah, there's actually a cool story behind that.
Oh
So
my God.
w- one of the other things we did was I wanted it to be a temperate climate. So I also researched the weather all along our route so
See?
that we could be comfortable.
And how long did it take you to cover all these states? The 40 states. How many?
7.5 months.
7.5 months.
Hmm.
7.5 months. Okay. All right. Now let's get back to this cave action right here.
Okay,
What's up with this?
that's Maquoketa Caves,
Uh,
and it's in Iowa. A lot of people think Iowa is
cornfield.
just cornfields
Like
and
Illinois,
nothing
right?
else to see. Even people from Iowa will tell you that.
Oh,
But
that's
when I was in Salem, Massachusetts,
uh-huh,
I met this amazing artist,
uh-huh.
and she told me, when I get to Iowa, go to Maquoketa Caves. And that happened to us a lot during our trip. People would give us tips on really cool places to see.
Mhm, mhm.
So once we got to Iowa, we went to Maquoketa Caves, and it was an incredible state park full of a lot of caves. We went inside every single one of them. Some
Wow.
were really big, like the size of Grand Central Station, and others you had to get on your stomach and
Oh,
crawl through.
girl, you're good. You are good.
We saw some really cool animals on our trip that we've never seen before. One was a giant bull moose. It was
Mhm,
in Teton National Park.
mhm.
And
And that's
Te-
where? In
Teton National Park, it is in Wyoming.
okay. Oh,
And Wyoming had the most interesting wildlife that we
oh,
saw on the whole trip. We saw antelopes, grizzly bears, bull mooses, a tiny little pika, which looks like a hamster in the wild.
oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. And of course, you had your traveling buddy. You
Bailey.
had your traveling buddy.
And
And
she's here today too.
oh, of course she is. So you guys are back. So your trip right now, this is your second leg. Is this volume two? Do I smell a
Yeah,
volume?
this is volume 2.
Wow.
We've been in Mexico for 2 months
Mhm.
in Baja California,
Beautiful.
and which is it's a peninsula that
Mhm.
is below California in the United States,
Yes.
and it borders on the Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Cortez. And the Sea of Cortez, Jacques Cousteau called the aquarium of the world.
Mm, mm.
It's
Wow.
it's been incredible. We've seen humpback whales, whale sharks, dolphin, mobula rays.
Oh my
One of
gosh.
our campsites had mobula rays jumping 24/7 like popcorn in the water.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now raids. Okay, I know the raid. Okay, I got it. I got it.
Like some
Yeah.
people know manta ray. It's in the
Yes.
same
Yes.
family, but it's
Right.
much
No, no, no,
smaller.
Florida, that's why. Yeah, I asked her to say what it was because I'm the Florida side. I know a little bit about that stuff, but I'm sorry
Yeah.
I cut you off. Tell our audience what that is.
So it's like a stingray, but this one doesn't have a stinger.
Okay.
And it's about 3 or 4 feet with its wings.
Mhm.
And what's special about the mobula ray
Mhm.
is that they're the most acrobatic ray, and
Oh,
they are
that's
constantly
why.
jumping and flying out of
Yeah.
the water.
Oh. Now, we could talk for hours. I love this. Oh my God! But I have to ask, what about your? Was there a scary part in there somewhere where you were like,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
there a scary part that you were like, this is scary? But I know you mentioned the white water rafting, but is there something on the first volume that?
Um, On
Ooh,
the first trip, let's see if things were scary. Well, it was scary driving down Highway 1. Highway 1
oh,
in California was actually literally terrifying.
it was same here. Same here.
Yeah, I was not afraid of the grizzly bear that
Mhm,
was in Yellowstone,
mhm,
but I was very scared of Highway 1.
mhm.
And so I have my eyes closed as much as possible. As beautiful as it is, though, it's
Oh,
was an incredibly beautiful drive, but really scary. I think that was probably my scariest moment. We
okay.
didn't have anything happen to us. Like, I think a lot of people are afraid to sleep outside a campground when they camp, right?
Here.
And they probably think a lot of things could happen to you. I remember people tried to talk us out of that trip, that it wouldn't be safe. And we never experienced anything.
Before we go, I have to ask any advice for other people who are listening to this and are like, I want to do that so badly.
Uh,
I'm scared of cat, but please convince me. Tell what's some advice
okay,
for serious people
absolutely.
who want to do it.
I highly encourage anyone who has even the slightest dream of doing this to do it, and do it now.
Mhm.
Because every year as we get older, things get a little bit harder to do.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people think they will wait till they're 65 and they retire to come out and do the things that
Mhm.
I'm doing.
Exactly.
But I will tell you that you won't have the same enjoyment that you'll have when you're younger. So if because it's just physically it gets a little bit harder every year. Maybe your back is not as good or your knees are not as good. I know even myself at 50, I'm not the same physical fitness I was at 30
Right.
or 20.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
you don't want to miss out
Mhm.
on this wonderful experience waiting till tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm going to say do it now for that reason is just your own abilities to enjoy it go down.
That yes, that is so true. I was reading an article about that very thing. It's like when people, a lot of people wait till they retire,
Mhm.
to go on trips, and it's like, but a lot of times, how are you going to easily climb the Great Wall of China or whatever,
Exactly.
go
Like,
elephant, go gorilla trekking in Rwanda. It's like, which I couldn't do
exactly. You
because of
don't want to miss those opportunities. I got
yes,
to hike on the Appalachian Trail, not the full trail, of course, but I did hike it. And I remember being so tired, and I thought, wow, this would be really, really hard if my knees were, not as good as they are, and I
right.
maybe wouldn't be able to do it. So
Right.
that's why I want to encourage people. And it's also more affordable than you may think.
Show us where you are. Show us the dragon.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take you on a little tour. Back here, can you see it? That's the
Oh,
here
I
is
see it.
is the
I love it. Yes, yes, I see it. I love it.
that's that's the Dragon Wagon, and you'll
Wow.
see we
Away
have
from home.
Starlink up there, so we have fast internet. And
Uh-huh.
back here, this is my partner in crime, the guy who my travel buddy.
Hello. Hey, Marquita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so
Awesome.
much for pushing her dreams. We all need a cheerleader in our life, right? Oh my! I just love you guys. You
Oh,
guys are
sorry. What's that?
for real.
Too much.
This has been so much fun. I hate to.
Yeah, it was great,
I don't want to
Marquita.
go, but you guys, you have to get this book. I mean, so it's just amazing. You guys did. Oh, here's a couple. Here's a cute couple. Look at this. Aren't they cute? This book, it's yes, it's amazing, and you guys have to get a copy and be inspired so you can plan your trip. All right, thank you so much, Melanie, for coming on the show and talking about your book. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast, where we talk all things aging on this wonderful, transformative journey. Yes, and nothing is off limits. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. If you want to join the conversation and be a guest on the show, whether you have a new book or not, email us at info@agelessglamourgirls.com. That's info@agelessglamourgirls.com. Be sure to check out our private Facebook group, The Ageless Cafe. Thank you, Melanie, for being a great, fan on that page as well. That's The Ageless Cafe on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and other social media platforms. Before I go, where can we go to find out more about you? What are your social media platforms?
MelanieDragan.com.
Mhm.
That's my first and last name, and Dragon is DRAGAN.com.
Mhm.
And you'll see my socials there, and also a link to my book.
Okay, and I was going to say a link to your book, and where's your book available? Besides, you said there's a link, and where else can we
It's
find?
on it's on Amazon. It's available in hardback,
Mhm.
paperback, and ebook right now. And like you, I was a top bestseller on Amazon in the travel category last year.
Love it, love it, love it. I love it. Congratulations. I love that. All right, here. Thank you so much for the inspiration. And I'm going to put her stuff again on the platform. So get her book, The Dragon Wagon Diaries. And of course, I have to plug my book if this thing doesn't fall down. Because my co-authors would get me if I don't plug this. Like, and don't forget to grab a copy of our book, Ageless Glamour Girls: Reflections on Aging. At 13 of us, we like to party. Some great stuff, so inspirational. You'll find yourself in this book as well. And let's see what else. Oh, let us know what you think about it. If you can leave a review right on Amazon, that would be phenomenal. And by the way, we're collecting names for our second volume, volume 2. Yes, please drop us a line at info@agelessglamourgirls.com and put in the subject line Ageless Volume 2 if you're interested in being in something that could be on your coffee table when your grandkids come by, your great grandkids come by. That would be sweet. Anyway, now we talked about that, leaving a review, info, and put the subject line Ages Volume 2. Again, I'm Marquita Curtis Haynes. I'm founder and CEO of the lifestyle brand Ageless Glamour Girls. I'm also host of the podcast of the same name. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Keep sharing your stories, preferably here on the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast. Okay. just share the stories. Just share your stories, please, and keep writing those books. We love books, and hopefully, we'll see you right here on our new segment, Ageless Authors series, here on the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast. All right, here's to healthy aging and joyful living. We'll see you again real soon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye bye for now.